Welcome to this video on the risk assessments in Health and Safety Xpert. In this video, I'll show you how you can review, edit, create, export and print risk assessments. A risk assessment is a careful examination of the health and safety risks which employees and others are exposed to on construction sites. Let's take a look at the risk assessments. Click the Risk Assessments tab. Your project is populated with risk assessments which you may need based on the project template you selected and the build phases you've ticked. On the Home tab, there are several important buttons. From here, you can create a new risk assessment, you can add extra risk assessments to the project from the library, you can edit a risk assessment, and you can delete a risk assessment if you don't need it. It's essential that you spend time reviewing the risk assessments. The HSC emphasises that you must think about the specific hazards and controls that your business and your site needs. Review the list of risk assessments and decide whether you need to edit any. The list is ordered by reference number to start with. To order the list by title, click on the title column heading. To preview a risk assessment, left-click on the risk assessment. It will then be highlighted in green to show that it's selected. A preview of the risk assessment appears in the preview panel on the right-hand side of the screen. You can scroll down to preview the document, or alternatively use the next and previous arrows at the top of the preview panel. Use the zoom controls to zoom in or out, or select a zoom percentage from the drop-down menu. If you're struggling to locate a particular risk assessment, you can type a keyword into the search box. The keyword will be highlighted where it appears in the title of any risk assessments. To edit a risk assessment, click on the risk assessment to select it. Then click Edit on the toolbar at the top of the screen. Alternatively, you can double-click on the risk assessment to edit it. You can edit any of the text by typing into the text boxes. For example, you can add text to the existing activities. You can add an activity using the Add tab. You can also add hazards to the existing activities. Scroll down the activity and click the Add button at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to add a hazard for falling objects. Type in the hazard, then type in the risk or the potential outcome, then select the pre-control risk using the scales as a guide. Let's say the likelihood is 3, possible, and the severity could be 6, a fatality. Now type in the control measures, now decide the post-control risk. So the likelihood with those control measures in place is perhaps 2, and the severity could still be a fatality if it does happen, so that remains 6. Type in any comments and that's your hazard complete. You can delete a hazard by clicking the delete button at any time. Once you've edited the risk assessment and you're happy with it, click OK. If you want to save your edited version of the risk assessment to use in other projects, click the Save As button on the toolbar at the top of the screen. You can save the risk assessment as a new library document. You'll see it's been assigned a new reference number. You cannot overwrite the original. Click OK. And the new risk assessment can now be added to any Health and Safety Xpert project using the Add button. We've given you a default set of risk assessments for this type of project, but there may be occasions when you need to add other risk assessments to your project. To do this, click Add on the toolbar at the top of the screen. Tick the box of any risk assessments you want to add. You can add multiple risk assessments in one go. Once you've selected the risk assessments you need, click OK. To create a new risk assessment from scratch, click New. The risk assessment window opens up. Give the risk assessment a name Then work through the sections, typing in the relevant details. Type the activity name, then add the hazards in the way you've seen. To add a hazard, click the Add button under the list of hazards. Remember, you can add additional activities using the Add button on the Activities tabs. Don't forget to click the spell check button before clicking OK. I'm going to click Cancel for now. Once you're happy with the risk assessment, you can begin to think about exporting or printing the risk assessment. Click Export to export one or more risk assessments. You'll need to do this if you want to email the documents to someone. Firstly, select the output format. The PDF and Word document formats can be very useful, but you may also want to use the Open Document text format. The highlighted risk assessment has been pre-selected, but you may want to select other risk assessments, or indeed other health and safety documents to export at the same time. You can decide whether to export a cover sheet. The cover sheet can include all the documents in the project, just the currently selected documents, or the currently selected documents plus all previously published documents. Look at the output folder to check the save location. You can of course browse and select another folder if necessary. Once you're happy with your selections, click Export. The folder containing the exported documents will open up in Windows Explorer. You can then use the documents in the usual way, for example by attaching them to an email. If you want to print a hard copy of the risk assessment, click Print. Select the printer from the drop-down box. As with the export, you can opt to create a cover sheet. Select any additional documents you wish to print, and then click Print. So that's how to review, edit, create, export and print your risk assessments. Over to you.